If you're enjoying your sixth decade or beyond, you've likely dedicated your life to hard work, family, caring for others, and fulfilling obligations. Now, as you embark on this new chapter, whether you see it as retirement, a fresh start, or simply your time, something remarkable begins to unfold. You start to understand that life isn't about constantly striving for more, but about making better choices. But here's a truth that often goes unspoken. Living better sometimes means releasing things, not accumulating them. It means lightening your load by shedding habits, beliefs, and pressures that no longer benefit you. In this video, Dr. Anya Sharma will guide you through 9 things to consider releasing after the age of 60. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you deserve to experience greater joy, peace, and freedom. These are insights Dr. Sharma has gained from over a decade of working with individuals just like you, people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, who have shown her what it truly means to live well. Stay with me until the end, because the last point might just transform your perspective when you wake up tomorrow. Let's get started. First, stop saving out of fear. This is the first thing Dr. Sharma suggests releasing after 60. Stop saving out of fear. Now, that might sound a bit odd at first. After all, saving money is a habit instilled in many of us from a young age. Save for a rainy day, save for retirement, save just in case. And for much of your life, that mindset has served you well. But at a certain point, particularly after 60, saving out of fear can actually hold you back. Let me explain. The purpose of saving money is to provide for your future self. It's a tool, a way to prepare for the life you envision living later on. But what happens when later is already here? What happens when you've saved sufficiently, when your financial needs are met, and yet you still hesitate to spend a single penny? Dr. Sharma has seen it time and time again. She once met a gentleman who had over $2 million in his retirement accounts. He had no debts, owned his home outright, and had more than enough to last the rest of his days. And yet, whenever his wife suggested a vacation, buying a camper, or even just a nice dinner out, he'd become tense. He'd say, "What if something happens? What if we need that money later?" And Dr. Sharma gently asked him, "What if you never use it? What if later never unfolds the way you expect?" That question resonated with him, and perhaps it resonates with you as well. Saving money is important, but at some point, you have to trust the life you've built. You have to give yourself permission to enjoy it, to take that trip, buy that gift, create that memory. Not recklessly, not without consideration, but without guilt. If you've planned responsibly and your essential needs are covered, the money you've saved isn't just for emergencies, it's for living, for connection, for joy. So today, Dr. Sharma wants to offer you this shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "What if I run out?" start asking, "What is worth spending on while I still can?" Your time is now, not someday, not eventually. Second, stop spending on what doesn't bring you joy. The second thing to release after 60 is this: stop spending money on things that don't bring you joy. Now that you've given yourself permission to spend, make sure you're spending on the right things. Too often, we fall into patterns. We buy things out of habit, out of guilt, out of obligation. We try to maintain appearances, please others, or fill some inner void we haven't taken the time to understand. But if you pause and truly reflect, how much of your spending actually brings you happiness? Dr. Sharma once spoke with a woman in her early 70s who told her she used to spend thousands of dollars each year on clothes she never wore, gifts she felt pressured to give, and gadgets she bought simply because they were on sale. But the one thing she remembered most vividly was a $600 flight to surprise her sister on her birthday. They laughed, cried, and stayed up late sharing memories. That weekend meant more to her than all those shopping trips combined. That's the difference between spending and spending well. After 60, your money should align with your deepest values. Perhaps that's travel. Perhaps it's contributing to your grandchildren's education. Perhaps it's weekly dinners with friends or that new recliner that eases your back pain. Whatever it is, spend on that. Release the things that feel burdensome, meaningless, or rushed. Release spending that stems from guilt, fear, or the pressure to impress. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to enjoy your life. And remember, joy doesn't always come with a price tag. Sometimes the most enriching moments are the simplest ones: sitting on the porch with someone you love, sending a handwritten letter, or taking a walk in nature without your phone. So before you spend, ask yourself, is this helping me live the life I want? Or is it just noise? Spend with intention, spend with heart, because the goal isn't to have less or more, it's to have meaning. Third, stop trading time for money. The third thing to release after 60 is this: stop trading your time for money unless it still brings you meaning. For most of your life, time and money have been closely intertwined. You worked for a paycheck. You earned your living by showing up, putting in the hours, doing the job, even when it was challenging, even when it was unrewarding. And that was necessary. It was how you built your life. But now you're in a different chapter, and in this chapter, time is your most precious currency. Ask yourself honestly, are you still working because you love it, or because you're afraid to stop? Does your job give you purpose, or does it simply keep you busy? Dr. Sharma isn't suggesting you should retire just because you turn 60. If you still find joy in your work, if it gives you energy, structure, and connection, keep doing it. But do it by choice, not by habit or fear. Dr. Sharma knew a man who had been a high school teacher for over 30 years. When he turned 62, people kept asking him, "When are you going to retire?" And his answer was simple: "When I stop loving it." So he kept teaching until 67. Then one morning, he woke up and felt it. It was time. And he walked away with peace in his heart, not regret. That's what Dr. Sharma hopes for you. But she also sees the other side: people who stay in jobs they don't enjoy simply because they don't know who they are without that role. People who are afraid to slow down because they've never been given permission to simply be. Here's the truth: you can always earn more money, but you can never earn more time. Once today is gone, it's gone, and no paycheck can buy it back. So if your work still fulfills you, keep going with pride. But if it drains you, if it holds you back from the life you want to live, it may be time to release it. You've traded time for money for long enough. Now it's time to trade time for meaning. Fourth, stop putting off experiences. The fourth thing to release after 60 is this: stop putting off the experiences you've always wanted. How many times have you said, "I'll take that trip someday, I'll learn that skill next year, I'll start that adventure when things settle down"? But here's the hard truth: someday isn't a day on the calendar, and for many people, someday never arrives. Dr. Sharma remembers speaking with a couple who had dreamed of driving cross-country in an old Airstream trailer. They had the money, they had the time, but year after year, they kept saying, "Next summer." Then one winter, the husband had a health scare, nothing life-threatening, but enough to make them pause. And that was the moment they realized they'd been waiting for permission that would never come. So they packed up, hit the road, and 6 months later, they told Dr. Sharma it was the best decision they had ever made. Not because every day was perfect, but because they finally did it. That's the power of taking action. Now, Dr. Sharma wants to ask you, what's something you've been putting off? A trip, a hobby, a visit with an old friend, a letter you keep meaning to write? Why not now? You don't need to wait for retirement to start living. You don't need everything to be perfect, and you don't need anyone else to say it's okay. Because here's something most people don't realize until it's too late: work can be an excuse, routine can be an excuse, even planning can be an excuse. Behind the waiting, there's often fear: fear of change, fear of doing something new, fear of finally prioritizing yourself. But what if this year you released the waiting? What if you gave yourself permission to start living now? Not in 5 years, not when the timing is right, but now. You're not too old, it's not too late, and you're allowed to make memories that feel like magic. No matter your age, the world is still full of wonder. You just have to say yes. Fifth, stop neglecting your health. The fifth thing to release after 60 is this: stop neglecting your health. Now, Dr. Sharma wants to say this with love, because she knows this can be a sensitive topic, but it's one we have to discuss. Many people think of retirement in terms of how many years they might have left: 15 years, 25 years, maybe more. But the better question is this: how many healthy years do you have left? Because without your health, real lasting health, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank, it doesn't matter how many trips you've planned, or how beautiful your retirement home is. If you don't have the energy or ability to enjoy it, it all starts to slip away. Let me ask you, would you rather have $20 million and feel sick, tired, and in pain every day? Or would you rather have just $1 million, but feel vibrant, strong, and full of life? Most people, when they stop and think about it, would choose the second. But strangely, many of us live like we're chasing the first. Here's the good news: you don't need to overhaul your entire life to feel better. You don't need to become a marathon runner or switch to a strict diet overnight. Start small. Start by walking a little more each day, by choosing water instead of soda, by stretching in the morning, or joining a local fitness class designed for people your age. Even light strength training with guidance can do wonders for your balance, energy, and independence. This isn't about losing weight or chasing youth. It's about keeping your freedom. It's about being able to play with your grandchildren, travel without pain, and wake up with energy instead of fatigue. Your body is your vehicle for the life you want, and just like any vehicle, it needs regular care, it needs maintenance, it needs love. So take care of yourself, make that doctor's appointment you've been avoiding, take that first walk around the block, prepare one healthy meal this week, just one. Because health isn't about perfection, it's about momentum, and the best time to start is now. Sixth, stop worrying about what others think. The sixth thing to release after 60 is this: stop worrying about what other people think. Now, let's be honest. For most of our lives, we've been shaped by the expectations of others. We try to be the good parent, the loyal employee, the reliable friend. We follow the rules. We do what's expected. But at some point, you have to ask, who am I living for now? Dr. Sharma once had a client, a woman in her mid-60s, who loved art. All her life, she had dreamed of taking a painting class, but she hesitated. She said, "What if I'm not good? What if people think it's silly at my age?" You know what Dr. Sharma told her? "So what if they do?" She took the class, and it changed everything. Not because she became a famous artist, but because she finally gave herself permission to do something for her. No apologies, no explanations. Here's something powerful Dr. Sharma wants you to remember. The older you get, the more freedom you earn to stop caring about the noise around you. You want to wear bold colors? Do it. You want to travel alone? Do it. You want to say no to family gatherings that exhaust you? You have that right. And this isn't about being rude or self-centered. It's about living authentically, so you don't look back with regret. There's a book written by a hospice nurse named Bronnie Ware. In it, she shares the top regrets of people at the end of their lives. Do you know what the number one regret was? "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." Let that sink in, because when you live by other people's standards for too long, you begin to disappear from your own life. So today, release the pressure, release the need to impress, say what you mean, do what you love, and allow yourself to be seen fully, honestly, beautifully, just as you are. There's only one you, and it's never too late to show up for your own life. Seventh, stop watching the doom and gloom. The seventh thing to release after 60 is this: stop watching the doom and gloom, at least not every day. Now, this one might surprise you. Let me be clear, Dr. Sharma isn't saying you should bury your head in the sand. Staying informed is important. Being aware of the world around you is part of being a thoughtful citizen. But there's a difference between staying informed and being emotionally consumed. If you spend hours every day watching the news, no matter which channel, you might start to feel like the world is falling apart, and that constant stress, anxiety, and fear, it builds up, it wears on your body, it clouds your mind, it steals your peace. Here's something Dr. Sharma often asks people. Have you ever met someone who said, after watching 3 hours of cable news every night, I feel so much better about life? Neither has she. But she has met plenty of people, dozens of them, who told her that once they stepped away from the non-stop news cycle, their mental health improved, their mood lifted, they were more hopeful, more present, more at ease. You see, most of the news you watch isn't designed to inform you, it's designed to keep your attention, and fear is a powerful hook. The question becomes, is that where you want to spend your attention? After 60, you start to realize that your attention is one of your most valuable resources, and you get to choose where it goes. You can focus on what's broken, or you can focus on what's still beautiful. There's still kindness in the world, there are still good people doing good things, there's still music, laughter, learning, growing, and love. So stay informed, yes, but not at the cost of your peace. Limit how much you take in, turn off the television when you need to, choose uplifting stories, read from sources that respect your intelligence, not just your fear, and ask yourself, has watching this helped me take action? Has it improved my life? Or is it just making me feel helpless? Because after all the years you've lived, you deserve more than to sit in fear, you deserve peace, you deserve joy, and you deserve to spend your energy on things you can actually control. 8th, stop ignoring your financial plan. The 8th thing to release after 60 is this: stop ignoring your financial plan. but also stop obsessing over it. This is a delicate balance. On one side, you have people who avoid their finances completely. They say things like, "It's too overwhelming, I'll deal with it later," or "I don't even want to look at it." But here's the truth. Avoiding your financial plan doesn't make the problem go away, it makes it grow in the dark. After 60, it becomes even more important to have a clear understanding of what your money is doing. How much income do you need each month? What happens if your health changes? Are you protected from the unexpected? You don't need to be an expert, but you do need a plan, one that gives you peace of mind. Now, let me speak to the other side, the people who only think about their finances. You know the type, maybe you are one of them. They analyze every dollar. They ask, if I take a vacation, will that impact my tax efficiency? They delay joy because of a spreadsheet. Here's the problem with that. You didn't save and invest just to look at your numbers on a screen. You did it to live. So yes, talk to your advisor, check your accounts, make sure the basics are covered, but then let go. Let your money do what it was meant to do, support your life, not control it. A strong financial plan should give you confidence to say yes, not fear that keeps you frozen. Dr. Sharma once told a client this, and it changed his entire perspective. The sign of a great retirement plan isn't just a high account balance, it's a life well lived. So stop avoiding your finances out of fear, stop obsessing over your finances out of anxiety, and start using your finances as a tool to build the life you want, one joyful, intentional decision at a time. Ninth, stop living like you have forever. The ninth and final thing to release after 60 is this: stop living like you have forever. Now, Dr. Sharma says that not to scare you, but to invite you to live more fully, because by the time we reach our 60s, most of us have been touched by loss. Maybe you've lost a parent, a sibling, a friend, maybe someone you loved deeply is no longer here, and in those quiet, sacred moments of grief, we're reminded of something we often forget: life isn't unlimited. We all know this in theory, but still, we put things off, we wait for the right moment, we convince ourselves we'll get around to it. But the truth is, you never really know how much time you have left, and that makes today incredibly precious. Dr. Sharma sometimes asks her clients a simple but powerful question: if you knew with absolute certainty that this was your last year, what would you do differently? Who would you call? What would you say? What would you stop tolerating? And what would you finally start doing? Most people can answer that question very quickly, but then they go back to living the same way they always have. So, let me ask you, what's stopping you from doing some of that now? You don't need to wait for a diagnosis or a crisis to wake up. You can wake up today with full awareness of just how fleeting and beautiful life really is. You can forgive someone, you can start that journal, you can book the trip, take the class, plant the garden, or say I love you before the moment slips away. And no, you can't do everything in one day, but you can begin, because the point isn't to live in fear of death. The point is to live in respect for life, to honor this one wild, irreplaceable life that you still have. You're here, you're breathing, you have today, and that's enough reason to stop waiting and start truly living. So there you have it, 9 things to release after the age of 60, not because you've done anything wrong, but because you've earned the right to live more lightly, more freely, more intentionally. Releasing isn't about giving up, it's about making space, space for peace, for joy, for presence, space for what really matters. Now, let's take a moment to remember what we've covered today. Release saving out of fear, release spending without joy, release trading your time for money when your time is worth more, release putting off the experiences that make you feel alive, release neglecting your health, your greatest asset. Release worrying about what other people think, release the constant noise of negativity, release financial fear, but don't ignore your plan, and most of all, release the illusion that you have forever, because the truth is, you have right now, and that's enough to begin. Before we close, Dr. Sharma wants to ask you something personal. What are you ready to release starting today? Think about it, and if you feel comfortable, share your answer in the comments. You never know who else you might inspire just by speaking from the heart. And if this message spoke to you, if it reminded you of your worth, your wisdom, or your possibilities, please share it with someone you care about, a friend, a sibling, a spouse, someone who may need this reminder, too. At Elders Insight, we believe aging isn't about slowing down, it's about showing up more fully than ever before. So thank you for being here, thank you for your time, your heart, your trust, and above all, thank you for reminding the world that it's never too late to live a life filled with purpose, connection, and joy. We'll see you in the next video.